no institution has played a bigger role in sustaining white supremacy and racial capitalism in this country than the media, right? Television, films, Hollywood. This is the space of culture. Culture is the space where the rules of society are taught and affirmed and sustained, right? This is how we understand what the terms of engagement are with each other in this social contract as that we are in, right? No matter how broken or how distorted that social contract might be, we are in a social contract with each other, right? You share a society, you're citizens of a country, you're part of a, of a community. There's a social contract there. All those terms, all those things, all those values, right? All that gets defined, normalized, and passed on through media and culture. And so there is this very insidious role that the media has played in this country, whichever sector you take of that, whether it's journalism or Hollywood or the small screen, all of it, right? Um, and what the media has done in this country, it's centered the story of the conqueror, right? It has told the story that uh, that serves and centers the needs of whiteness, that justifies the racial capitalism that this country is founded upon, right? And so what that looks like is that the media erases actual history. So there's so many things we're never taught, we never hear of, stories we don't see anywhere. But then there's also the active distortion, right, of what our history is, so that when things are taught, they are taught deliberately in ways that are untruthful. Um, and then this all serves to normalize this racial capitalism so that we all then accept these rules and these norms and we enact them, even, when we're not thinking of it. So there's this level of normalization that is really insidious, and it leads to a country that is unaware of its history, then cannot make, then can, because it's unaware of its history, the country cannot make connections, the needed connections between our history and our current day, right? Um, and then, ultimately, we have a country that is in denial about who it is. When the little bit of time that there was journalism coverage about the crisis of migrant children being taken, stolen, kidnapped, put in concentration camps along the border, right? Because that's still happening, but it's out of our news cycle. There was a moment where it was in the news cycle. During that time, the kind of rallying cry for those who did actually care enough to pay attention and talk about it was, this is not who we are as a nation. Well, that's a lie. We did this to Native American children. We did this to enslaved African families. We have done this since the inception. We have stolen and kidnapped and held children. We've done this all along. We were founded upon this as a country. So, like, what do you mean this is not who we are? There perhaps is nothing more American than racial terror, right? And so we have this media who has sustained this idea of who we are as a country that is completely incorrect. It's inaccurate, it's violent, and it's a fallacy. And we ultimately cannot heal that we cannot face. And so, I think that's the sort of really critical part that the media plays in this conversation.